This is a ramp in East Towanda. As you can see, the bridge going over to the War Memorial, Route 6 bridge. Anyhow, this is a ramp, and it's a pain in the neck to use a ramp to launch your boat. It's a lot of hassle. Most places, like I said, at reservoirs and stuff, you pay a fee, and you get a chance to keep your boat tied up so that you can actually make this into a marina. I think that if this thing was dredged out properly, we could lift up the walls higher up there and actually have people pay to keep their boats tied up here. People claim there's not enough draft to use the boats, but that's kind of dependent on how much water there is. And a lot of boats are jet boats, so they don't really have that problem. But there's got to be a way to open this up. I realize that part of the Susquehanna comes through here when it's really running, but it could be blocked off, and thus the water would go around the other side. And so therefore this could be dug out, and there'd be all kinds of places to moor boats, keep your kayak, your rowboat, and a lot of people would be getting more use out of this area, which is really underused. And like I said, depending on the time of the year, you'll have different usage of the river. They could also play around with a dam under the bridge and put up and lower certain panels to restrict the flow to keep the level up to a certain point and not have it come too fast over so boats can come upstream. But no one paddles up the Susquehanna as far as I have seen any distance. You can see the way the water really flows here, and it whips around. That's the main current, and you can see it, the eddies and stuff. But I think this could really be a fun thing to make it more of a permanent boat basin, and someone like David Buck with his kayakers could keep his kayaks up here and simplify some of the logistics. People could even rent places to keep their boats up here. I used to see boats across there, across the river. I don't see anything right now, but I have seen boats across the river tied up. I don't know who owns the property or how they're allowed to do it. But in any event, I think this park in East Towanda could be developed and made into something more user-friendly to boaters who don't want to have to keep on putting their boat up, putting their boat down, having their trailer on their vehicle on and off. It is a pain in the neck. There is a lot of space for parking. I don't see any trailers here yet, so probably no one's using it right now. But there's one area where perhaps Bradford County could actually enhance people coming to and be using some of our services, whether restaurants, movie theaters, coffee shops, hardware stores, or whatever. There's Hurley's, you got Tops. Anyhow, what does anybody think? Here's a view of that cove up from the railroad track. So that's as far as you could go back that way, but it also could be scooped around the other way, this way, towards the park. Okay, as you can see, there's the concrete section I was walking on before, and this is what's upstream of that. A very shallow stream. So obviously what you're looking over there is an island, and the question is, if this was dammed up to a certain point, what would be the downside of it so that it would stop surging water through here, because like I said, this all could be dug out. All this fill could be put up over there, and we'd be talking a place to store boats on some sort of floating dock so they could go up and down 5 or 10 feet or whatever they had to do. But people probably would pay money to keep their boat there for the season. Obviously it's not going to be winter time, but it would be during the summertime, so you're not having a real issue here. Anyhow, that's what I'm looking at. And then of course we could have a little bridge to get over to this island over here and use that as a park area, which I don't think nothing's too much done on it. It could be leveled out and used for something nicer.